is there a mitzvah to be happy? It's an interesting question. On one hand, there's a song, apparently based on the teachings of Rav Nachman Breslov, mitzvah gedola liot b'simcha. It's a big mitzvah to be happy. Sorry to be a Grinch. It doesn't seem to appear anywhere in the Torah. Where's there a mitzvah to be happy? So the Litvaks, they'll turn it around and say simcha gedola liot b'mitzvah, right? That it's the simcha that creates the mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah that it's not simcha that's a mitzvah. It's mitzvah. Doing mitzvah, that's what places us in a state of simcha. The ones who argue that happiness is a mitzvah will say maybe it's not one of the Taryag mitzvot, but it's certainly a very important thing, based on a pasuk in this week's parsha. Because you didn't serve Hashem your God with joy, with gladness of heart. So what's the first part of that, right? You don't start a sentence with because, right? We all learned that in grade school. What's the conditional statement, right? What's going to happen because I don't serve God with joy? So the assumption is, well, this is in the middle of the tochacha. This is where all the curses are, all the terrible things that are going to happen to us. So all these terrible things are going to happen to us if we don't serve God with joy. So that's a pretty harsh thing. It's like, you can serve God, you serve God 100%, you do everything that you're supposed to do, you do Torah, avodah, gemilas chasadim, the whole 9 yards, everything. But I don't do it with a smile on my face. The tochacha. That's harsh. That's really harsh. Is that what the Torah is saying? That all of these punishments are going to be visited upon us because we aren't joyful as we serve God? We daven 3 times a day with a minyan, right? We give tzedakah. We learn Torah. All of us, every man, woman, and child, we're doing all. Nope. No smiles. Galut. Kicking you out. You don't deserve Eretz Yisrael. That's really, really harsh. Now, I won't say that nobody says this. The Rambam says this. The Rambam interprets the pasuk this way. Once. He interprets it a different way twice. Those are the 3 times. He mentions it 3 times in Mishnah Torah. Twice according to what I'm going to call pshat, and once according to this interpretation, which I'll call drash. And it's good drash, right? Meaning we should have smiles on our face as we serve God. But what's pshat in the pasuk? What's going on here? So I had a Rebbe in yeshiva that always used to say, beware of a pasuk when it's not fully quoted. And I think that's in general true, and here it's really true, because there's 2 more words in that pasuk, right? Tachat asher lo avadta et Hashem Elokecha b'simcha u'b'tuv levav merov kol, where you had abundance, where you had bounty. What does this mean? Now take a look at the next pasuk. Here's the condition. The condition isn't what comes before. The condition is now. Instead of because asher lo avadita et Hashem Elokecha, what's going to happen? The avadita et oivecha. You will be enslaved. You will serve your enemy. Asher yishalchenu Hashem bach. And then instead of b'simcha u'v'tuv levav merov kol, you have bera'av u'v'tzamah u'v'erom, lack of food, lack of drink, lack of clothing, mechoser kol, out of shortages of everything. That's the then statement, right? The tachat asher lo avadita is the if statement. The consequence is you will serve your enemy. That's the curse. And what's it saying? It's saying you have it good in Eretz Yisrael. Simcha is not a mitzvah. Simcha is a state of being. Our job, our tafkid, right, is to connect that state of being of simcha to our avodat Hashem. And I think that that's Pashup Pshat in earlier in Devarim when it talks about v'samachta v'chagecha v'samachta lefnei Hashem Elokecha. Look, it's the time of, let's say, Sukkot. It's the time of gathering. It's the time that you're going to be bringing everything into your home. You're going to be aware of the incredible abundance that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you. It's natural to feel happy then. What's the mitzvah? You take that simcha and you take it with you to the Beit HaMikdash and you share it with others. That's the simcha shel mitzvah. That's the simcha of the B'sar Shlomim. That's the simcha that, right? And all through Devarim, this is a theme. Beware of material abundance. Material abundance is the beginning of failure, is the beginning of forgetting God, right? We say it in Shema. You're going to eat, you're going to be satiated, and then what's next? You're going to be tempted to avodah zarah. Right? What's the achalta v'savata that we're looking for? Is the achalta v'savata uveirachta. Right? We take that achalta v'savata and we sublimate it into our avodat Hashem, into benching, right? We take that feeling of satiation, and that's what generates the chiyuv to bench. And you have a similar thing with bikurim, and you have a similar thing throughout, right? In ha'azinu, vayishman shurun vayivat, right? The whole challenge of kochi va'otzem yadi. This is the challenge of Sefer Dvarim. You have it good. Don't blow it. Don't think that because you have this joy, this material abundance, that brings on joy, that you now forget God. You means you neglected God. You didn't serve God while you had it good, while you were happy, meaning you had material abundance, and you had. It's not a mitzvah to be happy. When you have a good life, you're happy. It's a good life. But if you forget God, right? Lo avadita et Hashem Elokecha b'simcha. You forgot to serve God while you had that abundance. What's going to end up happening? V'avadita et Hashem oivecha asher yishalchenu Hashem bach. Eretz Yisrael is going to be taken away. You're going to be subjugated to your enemies. Ra'av v'tzama uve'erom. You're going to lack food. You're going to lack drink. You're going to lack clothing. Mechoser kol. And you're going to have nothing. That's the punishment. You were happy and you didn't serve God. Now you're going to serve your enemies, who are going to be a lot less understanding than God, and you're going to have nothing. There's your punishment. There's your tochacha.